much your mom previewed on the my company called For Love or Wisdom, and we strive to create, to motivate, inspire, encourage difference makers to be a better version of themselves by pursuing wisdom.
Correct.
So, out of this was birthed Daddyhood, a Daddyhood movement. And it started with someone, they asked me, was I babysitting my own child?
Michael, stop.
So they asked me, was I babysitting my own child? And I'm like, I thought that as, I mean, I know they didn't mean any harm, but it's like, what do you think about fathers with, you know, who's spending significant time with their child? I don't say that babysitting, because you wouldn't say that to a mother.
At all.
And so that just tell me that that fathers are held to a high standard. And so when I, at least in my experience, and so when I saw, as Father's Day was coming up, it was like, you know what? The heck with Father's Day. We're talking about Daddy Day.
Okay.
We're talking about daddyhood. And it's a difference between a daddy and a father. And so watching, you know, at work, you know, just talking with your mom and sharing, trading pictures and videos and things like that. And she's always giddy about what her grandbaby's doing and the relationship that you guys have. And so I just wanted to try to capture that. And you know, you were an ideal person I would like to talk to discuss, you know, your relationship with your son. You know, and if you can just kind of like tell me, what does daddyhood mean to you when it comes to the relationship with you and your son?
Well, honestly, I feel like he's like a splitting image of me. You know what I mean? And with that being said, I look at him. He makes me want to be better, do better. You know what I mean? Because to be honest, to be really honest, when I look at him, you know what I mean? I take pride in that, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of mistakes that I did as a child, you know what I mean? That as a father, because I was raised, you know, with a single mother, you know what I mean? And like, I used to, I wanted, you know, my dad around, you know what I mean? But for whatever reason, you know what I mean? He was doing his thing, you know what I mean? So, and like, now that I'm married, I would never want like to have my son grow up in a single family home. So, you know, I try to be a good example, set a good example, show him manners, show him how to treat women, you know what I mean, respect, you know. But also, daddy's the boss, you know, and sometimes, you know, he's gotta get put in check, you know what I mean. But I know he understands that I do it out of love, you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. MJ, do you think daddy's a good daddy?
Yeah.
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 I am?
Yeah.
Why? Because I play with you?
Yeah.
What else?
You play Madden with me.
Yeah.
And you play pretend football.
You know what? If there's and like I would never want to miss out on being a father. Not just a dad, you know what I mean? But like, well, because I'm married, it is a father. Hello. It's just it's a privilege. It's actually a privilege to be a father. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't ask to come into the world. You know what I mean? It's our responsibility. You dig what I'm saying? So it's an honor. I take privilege and being his father. I'm thankful that I'm able to be his father and step up like a man. You know what I mean? And you know, there's no right or wrong way to raise a child. You raise the child how you want to raise your child. You know what I mean? And with that being said, I'm doing the best I can, the way I think is the right way. And you know what's crazy is I actually had just taken him to church this Sunday for the first time. You know what I mean? And just like
it was fun.
He had fun, and because you know he's asking about God. You know what I mean? So like, I was raised in the church.
Right.
I just didn't want to do it at that young of an age, but now it's like, but now that he's getting older, you know what I mean, and he'll be able to understand it more. You know, so like, it's just, I don't know, man. I love it. I love it, bro. I love it. I smile with my heart. You know what I mean?
I don't know how to do this, but
it's all right. You're doing a good job, man. You all right?
Yeah. And this is my daughter. She's getting ready for bed as well.
How
This is
you
my
doing?
and she just went up to and accepted Christ. She just went
Beautiful.
up in front of in front of the church, and she took the walk, and now she's
Good.
going to be getting baptized soon. So
Excellent.
yeah.
Congratulations. I'm proud of you, baby. Good.
So good night, baby. I love you. Yeah. And it's interesting that you kind of like reflected on your experience with your father, and you didn't allow that misfortune of him not being there, like you didn't duplicate that.
Correct.
You didn't mimic that. You actually, I dare to say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. You saw what was absent in your life, and you vowed not to do the same thing.
Yep.
And not allow him to experience that.
Not one bit at all. At all. I know because at some point in time when I was a child, it hurt me like I was like, damn, how come my dad's not around? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really talk about it, but it's crazy that we're having this conversation about it now, you know what I mean? So I can open up about it. But I used to get very angry, you know what I mean? And I would hold a lot in, just because like he was absent. Although I can talk to him on the phone, it was just like what did I do? But I know that it was not me. I just knew that it was because my father had things that he was doing, you know what I mean? He was still trying to figure out himself, you know what I mean? Like, so
right.
you can go play. You can take Nana.
Yeah, hold on.
And that's real, it's like, and it's life, and we don't know, we're not in their mind, we're not in their body, so we don't know what they experienced or what they experienced before they, when they were growing up, and maybe they didn't have the guidance or the strength to weather the storm and say, you know what, I'm not going to mimic what was given to me, and I'm going to do better. Maybe they didn't have that because I had a similar situation, where my father wasn't around.
Yeah.
And I know what it is to have that feeling with, especially when everybody else dad is around.
But you know what's crazy is I'm gonna be honest, man. My father had one of the craziest, and you know what? Like, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know who my father is, but all right. So I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna be real short, sweet, cut to the chase. My father was a boxer. Okay, my father is in the Hall of Fame for boxing right now. Okay, my father was abducted. Let's just say his brother walked him to the Ben Franklin Parkway and left him there. He was, I want to say my father was 5 years old. My father was homeless at the age of that. He was sleeping and nuns found him. His parents told him to go drop your brother off at the Ben Franklin Parkway. All right, so with all that real in a nutshell, I feel like, but like, and I know once again, I know my father loved me because every time we got together, it was fireworks. You know what I mean? And that all, but like, my mother and him, they had their separate, like they went their separate ways. But like, I always vowed never to walk out of my son's life, no matter what. And always, I want that structure. I want the structure that way he knows. You know what I mean? Because, honestly, a child needs their mother and father in their lives, whether like, and I mean in home. You see what I'm saying? They need them in home because when you break that up, I'm a firm believer that they're seeing too much of things that they don't need to see. You can't, like, if that's your mother, that's your mother. It's not that's mommy's boyfriend. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's, so like, I'm big on that. I'm really, really big on that, and just trying to I vowed, like, I got married, I don't plan on getting divorced. I got married, I don't plan on getting divorced. So like, me and my wife are gonna work through whatever to make sure that never happens, because it's a sacrifice, and we have to communicate, you know what I mean? And there's just a lot that comes with it. But we took that vow, you know what I mean? And now that we have a child, like, it's gonna devastate him. It's not about us. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna hurt him.
Absolutely.
But we're doing it out of selfishness. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of these, and now here's another part. A lot of the younger generation now, these kids that have kids are really missing out on the biggest part of their lives, and they don't even know it. But that's a whole nother topic. You see what I'm saying? That's a whole nother topic. If there was a way, because where you work at, I know that there's kids in that facility, that have children, you know what I mean? That have kids, some of them, and I can only speculate, you know what I mean, because of the situation in some of their lives. But if I can just come in there and just talk to them, just like, man, look, man, you got to just talk to these kids real. Like, it ain't nothing like being a father. It ain't nothing like being a mother. And especially if you're like a boy dad, you can rough them up. You know what I mean? But
it's not. I can only imagine.
You can only imagine, man.
I have two daughters,
and you're blessed.
And I cherish it. I mean, like when I say they have my back, when I say they are, they're like right there with me.
Yes.
Like, I'm truly a girl dad. Like
yes.
Girl Scout. This is Girl Scout cookies. I'm selling Girl Scout cookies, and I went to this past summer. We went to Wildwood.
Okay.
And I was one of a few dads that was there, and so of course they catered. They made sure I was comfortable.
For sure.
It's like so they was getting shirts made on the boardwalk, and they was like, you know what, you pick out whatever shirt you want, and they surprised me, and they gave me a Girl Scout dad jacket. I was like,
that's tight, man.
So you look on the Instagram, you'll see it. You look on my Instagram, you'll see, because actually that was like the first Daddyhood image I used
Beautiful.
to kind of illustrate what exactly Daddyhood is.
Right.
It's nothing like it when you have your own, your creation will come from you. And you make a good point, how they need mom and dad. And,
they do.
And if you are created by a mom and dad, it only makes sense. You have X and Y chromosomes. It's only right that you're raised with X and Y chromosomes with a mom and a dad. It only makes sense.
Right.
You need that balance. You understand, as a boy, understand from a father how a father is supposed to treat a woman.
Correct.
And as his mom, that's great practice with him treasuring the relationship he has with his mom.
Yeah.
So, and it is time when he do get older, and it's time for him to take on a significant other.
Correct.
To demonstrate the great relationship that you had, and
he's gonna see it. He's gonna see how it was.
Absolutely.
And that plays, and the thing about it is, like, also with that being said, like, there's sometimes where me and my wife may disagree, but I'm just like, we both come to that agreement, like, we're not gonna do it in front of our son. You know what I mean? Because then that brings on something else that a child does not need to see. I don't think no child should ever see two parents arguing. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't look good. You know what I mean? Because it just doesn't look good.
Yes, I get it. I don't know about you. If me and my wife, we have a disagreement, the house feels real cold. It feels real cold because that connection that you have.
And they pick it up too.
Absolutely.
They feel attention. They can see it. They can sense it. You're distant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have made a conscious effort to really show that you could disagree, but you're gonna come back and love each other. And they see that even though we may have a disagreement, they feel that tension. That's natural, but they're gonna see us be affectionate, and like it's not just because you have a disagreement that don't mean that everything stops.
Right.
You still want to love each other.
Correct.
and I think a lesson, a lesson taught with that. They had to see that's healthy relationship.
Correct.
It's not always peaches and cream. Um, so yeah, that's very significant. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Man, listen.
I keep on saying it, man, because I like I said, I look at the pictures and it was perfect with you coming on with him. That's just
He's always up underneath me. He's like, where's Daddy going? Daddy's got to go to work. You know what I mean? Daddy, can I come? Like, you know, Daddy, you gonna come with me to school? You gonna walk me? Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna come into work late. I'm gonna take you to school. I'll walk with you and mommy. You know what I mean? Like, just like, and even when I can leave work just to pick him up, it's he loves it. You know what I mean? And the best part is when he runs up to me and gives me a hug. Yep. Me and my wife. You know what I mean? That's the best part. Like, yeah. Daddy, like,
yeah.
Nothing but nothing. Yeah. No amount of money could make it. Like, there's nothing.
I know. It's like you're a rock star every day.
Bro, I'm his hero, man. He wants to like straight up, and it's cool, like that he looks up to me. You know what I mean? So like I try to set the best example I can. Mm-hmm. Literally, the best example. I was homeschooling my son. Like, I wasn't working. My son was a COVID baby, so I started doing like homeschooling him, just reading to him, doing sight words. Like I did a lot with my boy, man. I did a lot of structuring and critiquing, and I ain't got no teacher's degree, but I listen.
Hey, you know what? Some of the best teaching come from home.
Hello.
Some of the best teaching come from home, and that's not valued enough. Homeschooling your child. Mm-hmm. You make sure, one, you're in control of what they learn.
Correct.
It's not someone else's interpretation. And no one can teach you about you and about your history like you.
Correct.
Not someone who just interpreted or was in power and control and was able to control the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Control the narrative. And so that's undervalued. And even women who stay at home with their children, stay at home mom, it's undervalued. That's a job within itself.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for one person to do. Like attention, you got more than just attention. You gotta cook. You gotta do a lot.
Yeah.
You're a stay-at-home parent. That's worse than working a full-time job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not worse. It's harder than working a full-time job.
Right. I know what you mean.
Know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah. It's I think teachers got a little respect after the pandemic does.
Listen.
Because about the time the kids had to stay home and they saw the value in what teachers was doing. The thing is, I think that during the pandemic months, it separated the haves and the have-nots. It truly was a gap. The gap was widened, and it behooved us to take control of the situation and say, hey, you know what? My child probably can't go to school like they used to. But again, as parents, if we value education, and we still that was the time for us to cultivate the minds of our children. Mm-hmm. And kind of some of our children needed to be rebooted, right? Reprogrammed.
Yeah.
And you exemplified what that was all about, by taking hold of your child, educating them, teaching them how to read. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't stop. As in sports, you say there's no off season.
Right.
Off season with your parenting and your child's education.
Training. They're still training every day.
Absolutely.
Learning.
And I've seen him read. Your mom showed me the video.
Oh man.
She showed me the video.
Crazy.
And he's reading power words.
Power words, but he's sounding them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like syllables,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
One day at a time.
Yep. Hey.
That's it.
And you doing it, man. And
I'm trying.
I salute you on that.
Hey, I salute you, man. I'm learning. That's it. I'm learning. I'm young. You know what I mean? Thank God. But I you know I'm blessed to have had older people in my life. You know what I mean? That can just give me a little bit of knowledge and wisdom that I can pour down. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm an old soul. You know, I feel it in my spirit. But at the same time, like, you know, you put me in a room full of 13-year-olds and I'm a big kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I honestly, man, I just adapt. I'm thankful. I'm thankful every day. And shoot, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I thank you, man. I know you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me,
read,
you know,
read a bedtime story and all that, and get
honestly,
it mad. And
I got to. I have to.
I got it. Thank you. I appreciate you being part of this, and I'll make sure you have a copy of this as well.
Please.
Before I even post anything like that, but I'll make sure you have a copy. Any last words? Anything?
Just, you know, if you need anything, you have my number, my direct line.
All right.
You know, and I got you.
All right.
If I'm gonna tell you something else, and if we were in a better setting, I know he'd be in tell to elaborate a little bit more too. You know what I mean? He's only 5, but he's a young soul. He's a young soul. Yeah. He surprised you, man.
Hey, I just watching him and just watching him in action.
For sure.
That's the truth. That's the example right there. I mean, that's
for sure.
So, thanks, man. Have a good night.
I appreciate it, man.
Listen to your wife, and I'll be talking with you.
All right, brother.
All right, thanks.
Later. Peace.
So that was Mike Leviege reflecting on his son and the relationship that he had with his son, and what daddyhood means to him, and how he, on a daily basis, strives to be the ideal father for his child. And so, this is just the beginning when it comes to daddyhood. This is just the beginning for us capturing the relationship between daddies and their children. Biological, spiritual, daddyhood can come in various forms. I hope you found this beneficial. And again, thanks, Mike, for being a part of this. And this is just the beginning of great things to come in regards to our daddyhood movement. So I'm signing off, and for love of wisdom,